Good morning and greeting everyone. Thank you for taking time to partner with Aurora renewable energy firm. Although this company used to be a leading energy industry, it stopped growing because of the two major challenges that they are facing. Let's begin by analyzing the problem that they are facing. First problem is the cultural crisis. If we look at the definition of the leadership and characteristic, is the ability of leader, including personality and skill, to influence the team achieving organizational goal. Leaders must have at least two leadership skills: accountability and responsibility. Therefore, we can see that middle managers have bad leadership skill because they lack of accountability, which is the root cause of the problem. The team is believing in accountability instead of existing policy. Unaccountable managers allow them to act in the bad behaviors without respect to the teammate. For example, they bully teammate and commit harassment. Decisions are made behind the closed door, as employees are excluded in the process of decision making. The result of this has significant impact on team cohesive. Employees feel untrust, unsafe, and some of them are having emotional issues because they scared to speak with their manager. The impact of this crisis also contributed to the second problem, shifting company approach from an ambitious company to become a gradual progress company. The company leadership is changing. Instead of favor product development strategy, Aurora prefer incremental improvement. For the team performance, Aurora also faced cohesive challenges in the team. As Kamanilari et al. 2025 explained that when a team lacks of cohesion, they have low productivity and ineffective performance because teams are having communication breakdown and sometimes they have internal conflicts. Staff are less motivating due to safety and trust. This issue led companies to lose their innovation, talent, and effective operations. As a result of this, the competitiveness is no longer a leading market of a global renewable energy firm. In the meantime, company cannot address stakeholder concern like employee, board of director, clients, and compliance. To address these incredible issues, the leadership style and deep analysis must be appropriately applied to tackle particular situation, and this will be discussed in the following section.
Hello, I'm Milan Trivedi, thanking you for partnering with Empower Consulting team on Current Dilemma. As one of the leading leadership consulting firms for a decade, diagnosing the situation, we would say that the present environment of Aurora has low levels of psychological safety, as explained by Edmund Sun. The compliance-based leadership style that appeared following the ethical scandal is one of the primary reasons why employees are afraid to speak up and make risk. Although the scaled back procedural control, it also killed innovation and agility. What now confronts Aurora is a leadership paradox. That is, how to stabilize enough as an organization to recover ethically while at the same time be flexible enough to pursue creativity as Lewis suggests. Therefore, our mission is to make Aurora grow up with a moral and visionary leadership. Moving forward, as Fiedler and Yuko make us remember, leadership is extremely contingent. It is context and complexity dependent. In case of Aurora, one specific leadership model is not enough. Rather, a combination of transformational, transactional, servant, and paradoxical leadership can provide some direction and equilibrium. So now, I would like to provide a brief about each leadership style individually, beginning with transformational leadership, which help followers to have a common mission that goes past self-interest. This has the potential to restore the innovation process at Aurora by means of vision and creativity. But it will turn into what Torish terms as dark charishma without ethical foundation. Therefore, it should have to be rooted in humility and moral clarity. Secondly, talking about transactional leadership, which on the other hand revolves around accountability, rules, and rewards. This will be essential towards regaining trust and role definition at Aurora, which will give the company short-term stability following the ethics crisis. However, excessive dependence can kill experimentation, and it is a means of order rather than a long-term innovation. Additionally, we have got some idea from Van and Greenleaf, who focuses on the servant leadership as people-oriented and company-oriented. This strategy can restore psychological safety and moral legitimacy in Aurora. And It also promotes empathy and inclusiveness, but it can slack down decision making processes in very competitive conditions. Nonetheless, it is very useful in cultural healing. Lastly, there is paradoxical leadership, which mediates between ethics and performance. It prepares the leaders of Aurora to lead with contradictions, that is, control flexibility as well as humility and determination. This style opens the place where moral uprightness and creative thinking coexist. In short, it can be said that the recovery of Aurora is reliant on the balanced combination of these four strategies: the restoration of moral credibility and the revival of innovation. The optimal way to ensure that Aurora can be a flagship of sustainable and responsible innovation again is ethical clarity, adaptive leadership, and cultural trust. Thank you.
This section discusses relevant theories guiding our recommendations. The researchers employ two perspectives of organizational culture to improve ethics. For an organization to induce a meaningful culture of ethics, the combination or balance between the two approaches, unitary culture and subcultural approach, during cultural repair must be achieved. This means that unified ethical standards should incorporate the values of diverse subcultures to overcome disadvantages of each of the approach. With these perspectives, the role of leadership to reinforce ethics is to become role models and to support diversity climate in the organization. These roles are examples of a broader field of leadership known as ethical leadership that could intersect with other forms of leadership to foster trust and adherence to ethical standards. Furthermore, the researchers also based their recommendations on the concept of culture and organizational performance. Organizational culture shapes behavior and motivation essential in the attainment or surpassing organizational objectives. This could then be linked to the eight cultural styles provided in the integrated cultural framework that could be employed by an organization depending on their objectives. For instance, in the case of Aurora, the appropriate cultural style in their situation could be the combination of learning, purpose, and caring cultural styles, which allows organizational flexibility and interdependence. Learning driven culture promotes exploration, creativity, and innovation. Purpose driven style emphasizes doing the right or good things, and caring focuses on relationship and mutual trust. Moreover, there should be alignment of leadership approaches on cultural perspectives and styles. For instance, a learning driven culture could be effectively influenced by a transformational leader because of the aligned traits. However, a mismatch may induce confusion, resistance, conflict, and disengagement among others. This is also in line with the contingency theories of leadership, which provides that leadership style need to be contingent with the situation. Out of these theories and concepts, the researchers develop a conceptual framework to address the challenges of Aurora. First, cultural repair should balance the two cultural perspectives and reinforce with ethical leadership. Second, it is important to incorporate styles of culture focusing on flexibility and interdependence with aligned leadership approaches. Finally, the researchers recommend mix of leadership which reflects intersection of ethical and other leadership approaches as being illustrated in the framework.
Building on our earlier conceptual framework, we also reviewed Aurora's organizational structure and aligned it with the five-layered leadership model inspired by Jim Collins' Level 5 leadership of 2001. Given Aurora's hierarchical design, we recommend a blended leadership approach based on the function and needs of each organizational level. At the base level, team leaders should combine servant and transactional leadership, primarily because their function is to oversee daily operations while fostering a supportive environment that values individual contributions. As Obewuru et al. 2011 note, transactional leadership is effective for routine tasks with clear goals, while Savage, Austin, and Honeycutt 2011 emphasize that servant leadership boosts morale and strengthens ethical culture. Both styles are essential for Aurora's efforts in rebuilding ethical standards and regaining employees' trust. Moving up, Frontline managers, who also work closely with employees, should embody servant leadership to build trust and team cohesion. In addition, they should integrate transformational traits by challenging existing norms and driving efficiency to support the learning driven culture discussed earlier. Middle managers or chief supervisors play a crucial role in translating strategy into action. They must balance servant, transactional, and paradoxical leadership, supporting top management directive while enabling their team success as suggested by Han 2011. Similarly, senior managers or department heads act as both strategic partners and operational overseers. A blend of transformational, servant, and paradoxical leadership helps align long term goals with day to day execution according to Leo and Park 2023. Finally, at the top executive level, leaders face the challenge of balancing innovation with stability. Here, paradoxical and transformational leadership are essential. As Zhang et al. 2015 explains, paradoxical leadership enables leaders to embrace strategic tensions, while transformational leadership drives engagement and innovation. Together, these approaches can help Aurora restore its competitive edge while sustaining an ethical, high performance culture. In summary, aligning leadership styles across Aurora's five organizational layers ensures consistency, adaptability, and ethical integrity. Ultimately, this creates leadership pipeline that supports both immediate recovery and long-term success.
Now let's turn our attention to our implementation plan. The overall accomplishment of the alignment of culture with leadership style needs to be executed to the organizational system. The first phase of our initiative focuses on rebuilding trust and as the foundation for a stronger organizational culture. Aurora needs to conduct a comprehensive organizational audit in parallel with an employee engagement survey. Following this, ethics and accountability will serve as the cornerstone of this phase, so targeted training programs should be designed. Aurora needs to enhance feedback mechanism to ensure that all employees could share their perspective and contribute to continuous improvement. Finally, Aurora needs to undertake a comprehensive review and refinement of HR policy and processes. Reignite innovation is built in the second phase. To further strengthen engagement and performance, Aura needs to enhance rewards and recognition framework that promotes excellence and encourages value-driven behavior. In addition, Aurora needs to invest in learning and development programs that champion diversity, skill advancement, and digital transformation. Move on to the third phase, which focus on sustaining an ethical culture and competitiveness. Aurora needs to establish a comprehensive coaching and mentoring program to support professional growth and knowledge sharing across all levels of the organization. Furthermore, regular assembly and group discussion should conduct as part of the enhanced feedback mechanism. Aurora also needs to undertake a periodic review of organizational policies and processes to maintain alignment with best practices. Lastly, employee incentives and rewards framework should be expanded to recognize excellence and encourage innovation. Here we come to our final recommendations. In short, Aurora shouldn't just rely on one leadership style. They need to use a blend of different approaches. Leadership play a key role through ethical leadership, where leaders act as role models and support diversity to strengthen trust and ethical behavior. In SUAL 2024, culture also enhances organizational performance by shaping behavior and motivation. Using integrated culture framework, Kreuzberg AL 2018, Aurora should adopt learning purpose and caring cultures. To encourage innovation, caring culture will enable Aurora to restore trust with the combination of servant leadership, which is recognized by its emphasis on people, helping to establish trust with building lasting relationship across the organization. When he ran up 2011, simultaneously transformational should be employed as the research of APSA and Umrani 2020 show that transformational leadership helps employees to be more innovative at work. By setting purpose for followers, leaders can use the essence of transformational leadership to encourage and boost innovation among team members. In addition, paradoxical leadership could be applied to enhance learning climate, increase accountability, and at the same time motivate innovation. Zhang et al. 2015. Tomorrow's successful leaders won't be those committed to a single methodology, but rather those who can accurately evaluate circumstances and transition smoothly between varied leadership styles. Consequently, Aurora's big path toward regaining credibility, sparking renewed innovation, and achieving lasting success lies in a dynamically blended leadership approach rooted in ethics, accountability, and adaptability. Here are our references.